Hello, babies. Oh, my big ruffles. That help me pick out my shirt today. Y'all, this makes me look real top heavy. I just wore this to church. Excuse me. Anyway, I thought, oh, all these ruffles. I know just the book we're going to read today. The King's Procession. This is one of my flea market books. I love the old vibes it's given. This is an old Liberty School library, and I don't think anybody ever checked it out from the looks of things. I bought it at the flea market. Let's see if we can. It's older than Mimzie by 2 years, so this book is old. It's well, let's see, 59 years old. 59. Let's not talk anymore about that because I'm not that old. So the King's Procession. I just told somebody the other day, how can my son be 31 when I'm only 35? One cold winter evening, the King's procession came winding over the hills. The bells on the bridles jingled merrily, and the breath from the horses made smoke puffs on the frosty air. You're not making any smoke puffs today. I think it's 97 degrees outside here in southwest Arkansas. People in the village, hearing the bells, ran into the street to stare. "Godspeed, your highness," they shouted. "Godspeed." Then they gaped with open mouths as the procession passed. First came the king, all velvet and gold, on his snow-white mare. Then came the king's brother, looking very grand in his fine clothes. Next came the nobleman on his coal-black charger, followed by the page with an ostrich plume sticking in his hat and carrying his silver trumpet. Do-do-do-do. Last of all came Pippin on his skin and bones donkey. It was Pippin's first ride with the King's procession, and he sat as straight as he could, feeling very proud. But no one gaped at him. He was only the stable boy on a poor donkey that joggledy-bumped at every step. Joggledy-bump, joggledy-bump. I have ridden some horses that felt like they were joggledy-bump. And if they're traveling on cobblestones, I can walk down the cobblestones and be joggledy-bumping. The villagers looked at him and began to laugh. Ooh, they are tacky breeches. No home training. Ha ha, they shouted. "Bag of bones, sir, bag of bones." And the children ran behind him, shouting and waving sticks. Get one of those sticks and spare not the rod lest you spoil the child. At first, Pippin didn't answer. He drew himself up straighter than ever and pretended not to hear. "That's right, Pippin. We're going to take the high road." But the shouts grew louder and the sticks came closer, and finally he could hold back no longer. He said, "Hold my beer. I got my bail money." I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. "Never you mind." And it would have been an L anyway. "Never you mind," he cried. "I'm riding in the King's procession." That's right. That's right. But no one listened. They got a lot of nerve. He's in the King's procession. They just street urchins. They are right, thought Pippin. I may be riding in the King's procession, but I'm only the stable boy on a skin and bones donkey. And although he sat as straight as ever, the proud, shining look was gone from his face. "Oh, no, sir. You get that chin up right now. Get it up." It was then that the commotion first reached the ears of the king. He turned in his saddle to see what was happening. As he looked, he saw the children waving their sticks and shouting and laughing at Pippin, riding along straight and stiff and sad. I'm going to tell you, those kids got a lot of nerve. We're not attacking the King's procession. None of them, nary a one of those members. "Halt!" commanded the king. They better be scared to get home. The procession halted. All were quiet, waiting word from the king. He went slowly back along the line, past the duke, past the nobleman, past Thomas the page, to Pippin. I bet it got real quiet around there. There he's holding up his hand. "Halt! Silence!" cried the king. "Sound the trumpet. I will make a proclamation." Up went the silver trumpet, and Thomas blew 3 loud blasts that echoed among the frosty hills. The villagers gathered to listen. That was my 3 blasts on the trumpet. And this is a reading page and a picture page, so I'm going to hold it so you can see the pictures and I'll do the reading. Wherefore Pippin the stable boy has served me well and faithfully, and whereas it is unseemly for me to ride through my kingdom, allowing him to be jeered at, therefore do I proclaim that on our return to the castle, this stable boy shall have a fine white pony together with a handsome bridle and other suitable trappings. I, the king, have proclaimed it, and thus it shall be. Well done. Thomas blew his trumpet again to signify that the announcement was over. Then the king returned to the front of the procession, and the royal party trotted off, leaving the villagers staring after them. Pippin did not look back. That's good. We know how that looking back can work out sometimes. Salt. Did you hear? Did you hear? He wanted to shout to the villagers, to the trees, to the hills, and to the sky where the stars were just coming out. I shall have a fine white pony. The king has said so. The bells of the horses jangled a merry tune as they jogged along, and a bright moon rose above the black hills. Pippin thought of the pony that would soon be his. I am so excited for Pippin. I'm so excited. Oh, we got a reading page and a picture page. Mimzie's been to a castle before. It was a long time ago, and it wasn't in that good a shape. Thomas, he called to the page, is it nice to ride a fine pony? Of course, said Thomas. You wouldn't find me on that donkey of yours. I guess you're going to ride what the king tells you to ride. The nobleman turned around and stared at the donkey. You couldn't even make a pair of breeches out of his hide. He's good for nothing. You could boil him down for glue, said Thomas. He laughed, and so did the others. But Pippin did not laugh. He looked down at his donkey jogging along. They had been friends for a long time. He's not that bad, said Pippin. I wasn't planning to throw him away. Besides, I rather do like him. Good for you. Then he sat still and said no more, but his mind was full of new thoughts. They reached the castle. Pippin ain't getting rid of that donkey. He's not doing it. Crossed the drawbridge and rode into the courtyard. The king waited until all was there. Then he held up his hand. Bring forth a white pony at once, he commanded. A groom led the pony into the courtyard. Here's your pony, Pippin. No, here's your pony, Pippin, said the king. Now let us get rid of that miserable bunch of sticks of yours. Excuse me, sir. That donkey got him where he needed to be. Pippin looked at the pony. It was plump, and his coat shone in the torchlight. His legs were dainty, and his ankles were fine and small. Ankles are overrated. He looked at his donkey, at the bone sticking out of its rump, and its rough, shaggy brown coat. He waited only a moment. I do thank you, your highness, he stammered to the king. Indeed, I do. But I cannot take this pony and send the donkey away. The pony is very beautiful, and my donkey, it is true, is nothing but bones, a good for almost nothing. Still, he is my donkey. The king seemed puzzled, and Pippin stumbled on. You see, your highness, it's just that he belongs to me, and I belong to him, and we can't just not belong to each other. I see, said the king, and although the others there did not, he seemed to understand. In that case, you see that he gets a good dinner. He smiled, and surely you won't object to a new bridle for your donkey? Pippin looked at the raggedy rope hanging around his donkey's neck. A new bridle? Pippin grinned. I do thank you, sir, he said. He will look very grand. He took the bridle and slipped it over the donkey's head. It was a beautiful bridle of the finest leather with little brass shells and on it and a rose on either side. Oh, that donkey is fancy. Oh, the donkey was good enough for Jesus Christ. He is good enough for Pippin. As Pippin led the donkey away, he whispered in his ear, my little donkey, you're the most beautiful bag of bones in the whole world. And he hugged it hard around its scriggly, scraggly, skinny old neck. See, y'all, I love this book. This book is fabulous with a great message. And you might have looked at that cover and said, I don't want to read that. And it's 59 years old. We're not reading. That was a good book, and I loved it. I loved that book. I'm going to go read it again, I think. We don't just get rid of stuff because it's old. You know, like if you got a pet dog and you just don't want your dog anymore, you just don't move it on down the road. We have commitments for life. You keep your donkeys out there, people. I just love this book, but not as much as I love you.